Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Runs0b3r podcast. This is going to be episode number 5.
Five.
That's all right. Sometimes the crickets clap. That's all good.
So today we have guest Mark O.
Olateju.
Yeah, there you go, Mark Olateju. And Natalie Merrill. All right, fantastic. And to the left of me is Eric J. Henderson.
Howdy, folks.
And I am Brendan K. Viltman. All right, so today on this episode, we will talk to Mark and Natalie. They are both runners. Is that correct? Yes.
I'm retired.
Mark's a retired runner. So what I want is a little bit of back history on y'all. And so my podcast is basically, or mine and Eric's podcast. I don't want to claim it all myself.
Yeah, man, working
but
on, yeah, good.
It's
boy.
basically the run and then the sobriety. I'm eight years clean sobriety. And then I got into running. So that became my coping skill. So once I got sober, but we talk to all walks of life. We don't just talk to runners. We don't just talk to people in sobriety. Eric, my partner here, he drinks and does his thing. I don't know what else, but yeah, maybe a little meth. Nah, just kidding. No, he doesn't do all that.
Cigar,
Just
man.
kidding. Just kidding.
Cigar.
Whoa,
Un buen
whoa,
puro
whoa.
y ya está. Solo fumando puro.
No, he doesn't mess with any of that stuff. That used to be my drug of choice. So anyways, okay, let's talk. So a little bit of backstory on y'all and how, well, I want to say how I met Mark and saw him in the running community because he plays a huge part in the running community. And it has to do with stuff other than running. So, yeah. But yeah, go ahead. I'll start with Mark and go ahead and tell us where you're from, Mark. And originally,
Can we do ladies first?
oh, sure. Natalie, you want to do that?
2025.
Ladies first, always.
So when that dog gets here, he's gonna go first. Like,
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, Natalie, if you want to go first, you can.
Okay, so I grew up in the DFW area,
Oh, nice. Yep.
and well, I guess what else information do you want?
yeah, start right there. Like, let's go back
Yeah.
to like when you left the
DFW.
hospital
You want my
after that
childhood?
first slap
Like-
on the hindquarters. What was Dallas like? Yeah.
You said Capel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
See,
grew up in
already,
Coppell,
that's
a
crazy.
small little suburb,
Yeah,
And-
nice.
and I've mainly been in Dallas for most of my life. I lived in California for 2 years, not too long ago, but mainly in the Dallas area. And I played soccer for most of my childhood. I played soccer for
Boom. Yeah, I'm a big soccer fan. So.
for about 15 years.
Good God.
Oh wow.
And you have to run a lot in soccer, and I played forward and midfield, so there was a lot of running involved, but I didn't necessarily like it that much. And it wasn't until, I ran cross country and track in high school because my basketball coach made me, because I also played basketball. But I didn't enjoy it that much, and it wasn't until after college that I started running regularly and doing road races. And that's when I met Mark, because he was at every race. And I remember, I will never forget this one Saturday, I was at a 5K and Marco finished and he immediately had to leave. And I was like, where are you going? He was going to run another race that very same morning.
Nice.
Swinging from rope to rope.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I was always chasing him back then.
Oh, that's awesome. Yep. The
Nice.
so when did y'all meet?
It was like 2008 or 9, something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Nice.
long time ago.
Awesome. So you've been running for a while then. Do you do trail running?
I sometimes, I have run on the trails before. I was going to do a trail race last year because one of my friends and I did rim to rim to rim.
Oh, nice.
At the Grand
Awesome.
Canyon.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, well, I should probably do a trail race before that. But then the trail race got rained out. And so it got postponed to a different date.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I couldn't do the different date that it was. And it was after rim to rim to rim anyway. So
That
But I
must
do-
have been some
I
rain.
do
Some
enjoy
rain out of
running.
trail race.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
a torrential
No, for real, yeah.
storm. But I do enjoy trail running.
Nice.
Running.
Yeah, I did. I when Mark sent me your name, I did a little investigation on Instagram to see, and I saw that you had the water vest and stuff that a lot of trail
that
users.
was
Yeah,
that
most
was
of you guys
from
have-
rim to
that
rim
was
to
rim to
rim.
rim?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent. Because me, Eric and I, we both do trail, but we run street too, so it's not just trail. But lately we've been diving into trail big time. So
Very cool.
So, Mark, what about you, buddy? You from?
Would I start?
Nah.
Okay, so I was born in the UK,
Oh yeah.
1961, but I left there at 10 months.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
From the age of around 2 to 13, New York City, elementary school,
Oh,
junior
sweet.
high,
Nice.
so that's where my personality was formed and
Yeah.
foundation, so on and so forth.
That's awesome, man.
From there, Nigeria, 8.5 years. So I did all of high school, 3 years of college there.
Okay.
Okay.
Then Mississippi, but more than half of my life has been right here, Texas.
Oh, nice.
That's
Very
a
nice.
wonderful route, though. NYC, Nigeria, Mississippi,
Yeah.
and DFW.
But funny looking at Nat, where I feel like I've known her most of her adult life. Like
It's true.
one of my kids growing up, because she was in her early 20s when I first met her.
Oh,
Yeah, I had
really nice.
I had just
Dude,
I was straight out of college.
yeah, man, that's awesome.
nuts.
So, Mark, I know you from more of the photos that you take.
That's what I do. That's my passion.
Yeah, and I enjoy. I passed you on. I guess it was hot chocolate, and I was on a bike, and I passed the back end, and that was me. I said, "Hey, what's up, Mark?" And you probably said, "Hey, what's up?" But I was coming on the back end because I was a what are they called?
Like a pacer?
It's not a pacer, but we're like we did pace the first place girl and the first place male.
Okay.
So we weren't pacing them, but we stay with them
Just the
because
lead
we're
bike?
clearing, clearing the path is
Got
what
it.
we try to do. It's tough in those kind of races to clear the path, just because where that came back into play from the long distance, it was everybody was running a shorter distance, and then they all started piling up right there. So it was kind of tough, especially to get a bike in there too. So
Yeah, that was an interesting race. I intervened a little bit because how the 5K went was different than the 10K and 15K.
Right.
So the first 5K guy, he was so far ahead.
Yeah.
So second and third, they were taking like the 10K, 15K route once I hit the park.
Yeah.
And I told the people over there, I said, you need to get all the way by the gate
Yeah.
to let them know which route
Yeah.
to take. So
Yeah.
right.
the
Yeah.
second and third, they might have lost maybe a minute or so, but they didn't lose their positions.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. Because that was the first time I've ever done that. So I was a bike captain. That's what they're called. Bike captain or bike marshal. I was a bike marshal.
Marshall,
So.
yeah.
That's an official title.
I know. That's
Badge
what I was
and a gun.
saying. And when I registered for it, one girl, she it's a volunteer work, right? So I volunteered. One girl came with no bike, and she was supposed to be a bike marshal too. I was like, hey, you need a bike, probably. That might be part of it, you know. So and then another guy was telling me that, hey, you know, you can get paid for these things, and I was like, really? It's like, because I guess something in the past, somebody sued a race committee or a race group, basically, that was doing the bike marshal end, and they ended up winning in court or something like that. So it's like,
They have
so
to make
a
it
lot
official.
of them they'll cut you like a $9 check
So
or
I
something.
got distracted a second. Is that Q-Tip?
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
boy. My favorite
Q-Tip.
rapper, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Tribe Called Quest.
Tribe Called Quest.
That's right.
Oh yeah, man.
Favorite
for
group.
sure.
Look like he's on Lower East or something. But that's Queens, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's he's from? Queensbridge, Queens.
Not
Yeah.
Not Queensbridge.
Not
Far out
Queensbridge.
there, all the end of the other way, Jamaica.
So what's the difference? So let me know the difference between those. Queensbridge.
Oh, they're completely different neighborhoods.
Oh, are they? Yeah, nice. Is it, where's Nos?
And one's right next to
Nas is from
Manhattan.
Queensbridge.
Okay, he was from Queensbridge, and
Nas-
Nas, AZ, I believe.
they're from
Nas and
Queensbridge.
Maybe Mob Deep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love me some Mobb Deep. Yeah. So my son's mother, she's Guyanese. Are you familiar with Guyanese people? So they lived in Queens, New York, and there's like a small
Where?
community. Trinidadians and Guyanese folks that all live in the
She might be around
same area.
Flatbush-
Like
Flatbush type,
I guess
yeah.
near Jamaica, Queens, maybe is that it?
No, I mean, you could be.
Maybe no.
Present day New York, you need to ask.
Oh, okay.
25 years and quarter century.
Yeah. I don't.
And where,
I'm not
where
sure.
were you? Yeah. But I mean, shoot, you get out to a good Caribbean mix once you get out into deeper Brooklyn and definitely deeper Queens, places where I never saw a tourist like out on Merrick Boulevard in Queens. You have pockets of communities but mine was actually in Flushing, for example. So they said, "Oh, you live in Chinatown." I said, "No, man, I live in China." The languages there are Fujianese, primarily. You don't see any tourists or anything like, and they only go from Beijing, Shanghai to Flushing. They don't even go to Manhattan because it's small potatoes. Like, why would I do that? Folk walking up to your house saying, "Is the house for sale?" And you're like, "What are you talking about?" He comes back with a bag. Is it for sale? Like, hey, everybody, we out. So anyway, I'll leave all
Very
that.
nice, very nice. Is that your favorite hip hop group? Tribe Called Quest? It was mine
It is.
growing up. Really? Yeah. So you're sad about when Fife died, right? Yeah. Fife Dog.
Sad, but we saw it coming.
Yeah.
He battled diabetes,
Yeah.
all of his life.
So you're huge musical. Well, you have the love for music
Yes.
because I know me and you we talked about Bob Marley.
Bob
and-
Marley, yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, that's and you're wearing Bob Marley right now on your shirt, so that's fantastic, man. I love that too.
And the
Reggae
hat.
And the
music.
hat.
Oh,
The
and the
hat's
hat.
Bob Marley,
Oh
too.
yeah.
You can't.
Because I
not
think
get
you
Bob
commented on
Marley.
my. Did I have a Still Pulse shirt on? I had something on. You
Still
commented,
Pulse, that
You
guy.
commented on something. I think it was Still Pulse shirt or something.
Oh,
It
Still
was a
Pulse.
reggae.
What are you asking?
When that all came up, me and you about Bob Marley. I'm not sure.
Oh, you might have posted something
Oh,
that
yeah.
that I disagreed with or
Oh yeah.
needed to clarify or something like that.
Yeah, that could have been it. Yep, perfect. Yep. So so you moved from. You said, when did you hit Texas?
1987.
And she said you're from Garland.
So
you said he's from
you were,
Garland.
yeah.
you thought he was from Garland.
87,
Well,
you
I
were.
I've only known him since he lived in Garland.
Oh yeah.
She's only known me as a Texan.
Yeah.
Is this true?
Yeah, Texas, I mean, good.
And
Texas
then
don't wash off.
Then
Once-
I'll say I'm not a Texan, and then I'll
Come
go
on.
around with something like this.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah. So was that branded in Austin or no here?
It was
Dallas.
East Dallas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a
Texas
Longhorn.
is a
a
place
Longhorn.
that does not wash off.
Yeah.
It doesn't- in a good way.
Well, neither does this.
Oh,
Paya.
wow, I like that one.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
awesome, man.
That black light ink.
You guys, she's got a black light ink tattoo for all the people
With the
listening.
That was so
Yeah,
cool
that's
looking.
awesome. Very cool. Very
That's
nice.
crazy.
You got a lot of ink on you. I like that. Yeah.
Ooh, so do you.
Yeah. I'm still working on more and more. So you said you said she called you Mark O. And my favorite movie is The Lost Boys, and Marco was one of the vampires in The Lost Boys.
That's Kiefer and
Yeah,
Charlie Sheen?
that was my last tattoo.
Ah,
Yeah. That's Kiefer as David. Yeah, in the Lost Boys. So yeah. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to complete a monster sleeve actually. So that's what I want to do. So on that side.
But you hit us in a place. Run that space between 1987 and when y'all met and running and I'm basically saying, why are we here? In your words, I love it. I just love the what look like non sequiturs are not. We know why you're here. We invite people, but I would love to hear you're traveling that journey from 87 to, I just grew up in Capel to Dallas. That's the other world. I mean, it's blowing up right now because all the world's moving to Texas. But yeah, do that math for us, however you guys can.
well, for me, when it comes to running, I look at running as running. I think I've been involved in some controversial issues as it pertains to running. Because to me, a lot of my running friends, you have the trail and you have the road. And to me, it's just running.
Yeah.
I don't think road people are superior to trail or trail is superior to road. It's just running. And the mindsets are so different. I've been in a trail race in which the leader saw another fallen runner and stopped. And a road run would never do that.
Hell no, we step on you.
And, I don't know why we do have to categorize it when you're doing a race. But as people, he's a road runner. Who cares?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And Natmer said she hasn't. We did a race that was kind of like road and trail. It was called El Scorcho.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
We
nice.
did do El Scorcho. So it's
Twice.
road,
Trail. That-
it's
Twice.
trail.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's road.
I
it's
forgot
trail.
about that.
Yeah.
in August or something.
Yeah.
It was in
Scorcho?
July.
There we go.
Started 11 p.m. or midnight.
Midnight.
Go get it.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
For the record, we're both like street demons, but with a heart and trail, and it's an odd thing. Like I still want the speed. I've qualified a couple times for Boston. He's en route to qualify, but what you say
mean,
is
that's a gold
amazing.
mine.
That
Well,
there is
I'm,
that.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I've qualified 3 times for Boston and didn't run it.
No,
And
I don't
hadn't-
want. I don't want to
But
run.
my
it.
thing was, when runners say you're only a runner if you run like 8-minute pace, or you're only a runner if you qualify for Boston.
Nah.
That's one of the reasons why I never ran Boston.
I never wanted to run it.
Because if running Boston is what qualifies me as a runner, I choose not to run it.
Yeah.
Because running,
What
running makes me a
qualifies you
runner,
is I
regardless
look
of
out that
pace.
window and you're running.
That's it.
That's a runner.
That's it. Doesn't matter the group. Doesn't matter the pace. Doesn't matter the surface.
Yeah.
Running is running.
But I will admit, in New York City, I ran into the up. I gotta say it flat. The uptightness. I'm running around Central Park, and I discovered there are times it'll be just you. Well, that's on Sunday when it's negative 10 degrees, and you just like, blah. So the real will come real. But when there's a lot of people, I would stop a guy who I just started running, but I'm doing good qualifying times, and I said, "Hey man, can you tell me this?" He's doing hill repeats up and down. He said, "Sorry, buddy, I don't have." I'm like, "Dude, number one, you're not in the Olympics. Number two, you don't need a 4-inch split because you're out here next to me, just a regular guy." I would go home, put Chuck Taylors on, and then go eat him up in the park the next day. Because I didn't. The attitude was just like, "Duh, why are we so?" But the trail, you're right. It's. But I will say, beautiful folks I run into, road and trail. But you got to find your people on the road. Be's mine.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I started using running as a coping skill for me because I'm a recovering addict. So that was and I started on a cruise ship actually.
You ran on the cruise ship?
So they had like a 1 mile loop.
Like a Sonic the Hedgehog on the ship.
And so I would wake up and I did 1 mile was the first day. And then I was fresh into the recovery. And I think I went with mom. And my mom just passed away actually on Valentine's Day. So yeah, but I used to cruise when I got out of recovery. I went on a cruise ship with her, and I started running, and started creating that as a coping skill for me. And then I got more into more of active meditation, I would say, of when I run. And I didn't need anybody around me, basically, because I was, it's better just being in your head and thinking while you run. It's beautiful to have people around you. Like today, I ran White Rock, and we had a huge group of people around us. But so, anyways, I started on that cruise ship. I ran 1 mile the first day, 2 miles the second day, 3 miles, and then once I exited that cruise ship, I did an 8 mile, and I was like, "Oh wow, 8 miles!
Wow.
That's big for me," And I was like, "Wow!" And then it was, I pushed because I'm an addict, a recovering addict, but I got that addict mentality. I ended up pushing 17 miles to my brother's place. He lived in Pompano Beach, and then I ran back. So there was about somewhere around 17 miles, and I was like, "Whoa, man, I can do this." So then I bumped up to the marathon thing, and then started to get into that. And then now I just keep pushing the limit for myself. So I'm 48 years old, and I just did, in January, I did a 100-miler trail. And then 2 weeks later, I did another 100-miler. So I enjoy the distance and the trail.
What kind of recovery is that?
Yeah, there's not a lot of recovery for sure. So that's probably more of the addictive mindset, of just, I'm trying to do something that I tell people I'm trying to see how far the body can go. So I want to see a breaking point in my own body, and not just minor injuries, but I want to see a full out breaking point of saying, "Oh man, I can't do anymore."
I've seen a lot of when it comes to recovery or addiction. I've noticed that's really in the ultra running game. A lot of them are recovering addicts.
It's a good
Yeah.
chunk of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think because maybe I shouldn't say that it's because you can basically run at your own pace and enjoy the beauty of running trail or ultras or whatever. I think it's because probably you're trying to abuse your body in a different way.
Absolutely.
You know,
They punish themselves.
Yeah. So it's like, it's definitely body abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, and
It's just a different form of addiction.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be substance. It's you're attracted to the extreme, you know. But coming from perhaps some other extreme, you know. How did you guys get into any distance? What was running, just running, and you just, or I mean.
I think I definitely started to enjoy it because, like I said, when I was playing sports growing up, I didn't necessarily enjoy running.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think I started to enjoy it more and more. And I think for someone like me, I don't necessarily like to deal with like my emotions or anything. So running is a way for me to deal with those emotions. And I don't know. I think a lot of like endurance athletes are kind of like that. Like especially if you have experienced trauma in life, it's just kind of, you can get through hard things. And so it's just continuing to challenge yourself to do something harder and to do something harder. And you know that if you can endure that, you can pretty much endure anything. And I think running is very comparable to a lot of things in life because you face moments when you're in your mind and you're like, I don't know if I can do this anymore, but you have to kind of get past that and keep going. So for me, it's been, especially now, I think when I first got into it, I was too focused on going fast and winning and all this. And now it's more, I love it. And it's something I want to continue to be able to do, but it's also something that's kind of helped me through my darkest times, my hardest times. So.
Very nice. What about you, Mark?
I was in the gym wearing out the treadmill.
There you go.
That's where I
My
started.
ex-wife at the time was like, you need to do a road race. I had no idea what that was.
Yeah.
So, of course, I said no because I have to do the opposite of whatever she suggests. But then I got into it. I did a 5K. There was actually an 8K that went by my school because I taught for 35 years in DIST.
Oh,
by the way.
wow.
Lordy. So
Nice.
there was an 8K that went by my school, and the principal said, we're going to give you, whoever runs it, we're giving you free breakfast. I said, I'm down. Okay, I did that. But then I did a 5K, then a 10K. Then I just woke up and said, let me do a half marathon. The ex at the time. You can't do a half marathon. I said, why not? Because you got to train for that. It takes months. I said, no, I'll do one. I'll do one next week.
All right.
I'll do it next.
You can't do one. I did it. It was fine. She said, I can't believe you did a half marathon. You didn't even train for blah, blah, blah. Whatever. So then I never planned to do a marathon.
When I met him, you always said, you're like, I'm never doing that.
Yeah, I didn't plan to do one.
Never do.
So I was like in a pace group for DRC.
Okay,
And I was
yep.
pacing the 140 half.
Oh,
And
yeah,
the 140 half, I think, trained with the 330 full or something like that, maybe 340 full. But I didn't. No one signed up for the half.
Yeah.
So I'm doing all this distance with the full people. I'm like, I might as well do a marathon. And
Yeah,
that's how I did my
nice.
first
That's beautiful.
marathon. And then I did that first marathon like, I'll never do this again.
Right.
So
right.
all the times my body reached the breaking point, I just pushed through it.
Yep.
So my first marathon is like 3:08:59. That's my best ever.
Oh, man, that's
And I did that like at 47,
awesome.
48 years old. And I pushed it and I'm like, yes, never again.
Man.
But like Natmer said, somehow I went to trails and I was doing like, 50 Ks and marathons.
yeah.
I might as well go back to the road and do a marathon for fun. But yeah, I did start, when I first started running, I think I got stuck at I was a 5K expert. I've probably done 200 of those.
Yeah, right.
But I'd
right.
be stuck at about 23, 24 minutes. And then a friend of mine said, well, you have to do speed work on the track. And so where they practiced was across the street from where I taught.
Yeah.
So I did track work for about 3 years. And then my time started dropping.
Wow.
I think my best 5K might have been like 18,
Go get it, boy.
36, something like
Dadgummit.
that. But I
nice.
was still racing every week because I like to run. And I didn't know that that coach that had us out there was actually free for anyone who wanted to go. But he was coaching people on the side, and he told them, pick a race, a goal race, and just do that.
Right.
I was racing every week, and I was PRing every week.
Yeah.
So he reached out to me and said, Mark, you need to stop racing like that. I'm like, why? Because I'm telling all these people they need to gear up for one goal race, maybe 2 a year. And they said, but Mark is running every weekend.
He races to train. They train to race.
Yeah, and I'm like, I mean, I feel for you, but I'm gonna do what I do. You're gonna coach how you coach.
Sometimes twice in one weekend.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Though.
I said, I'm not running for you. I'm running for me. You know, so you know.
Now there's a part, if you will, pardon the interruption, where you said, and then I did trail. I know from running many years road, I never heard of that world. Some guy just told me like, "Here, you need to come to do this trail run, ultra." Both of them sound like he said, blah, 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 blah. So how did you, was it just your like, I'm just going to run?
I
Go back
I
to
was
that?
running trails for several years before I actually did a trail race because we used to meet in a place called Rowlett Preserve, and we would run there. But I was running with people who came from the road, and I was not good in directions. So we're doing like 8s, 8:30s, sub 8s on the trail.
Nice,
And
nice.
I was falling because if you get tired, you don't pick up, you
Yeah,
go down.
the roots come for you.
I finally decided, probably after 2 years, that you know what, I'm going to learn these routes because I don't want to run with y'all anymore. I want to take breaks. I want to run slower. Wow. You know, and I was probably running, I don't know, 8, 10 years before somebody even told me. Because you talked about runners. I was also the type A, your splits, you know, weekly mileage. And then I had a friend. That's when I first heard about running naked. I had a friend say, where's your watch? Don't have one. How do you know your mileage? Doesn't matter. How about your pace? How about if you're running too fast? I'll slow down. Run too slow, I'll speed up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Didn't care about the mileage, didn't care about the pace. And I stopped wearing a watch after that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But going back to mentality, so on trails, when I started running slower, then I found a different group. And then we'd be running, then, you know, we'd stop. I'm like, stop? That's an option? I didn't know we could stop. We could stop. We could rest. We could talk. We could look at nature.
Yeah.
You know?
You're in nature.
I'm like, this is good. This is great.
That's beautiful.
But the other thing about trail versus road is that for the trail races I've done, for the most part, I have to complete them. Because if I'm out there in the woods, there's no sag wagon to take me back. There's no road that somebody can just pull up. So I finished a lot of trail races, even though I'd probably maxed out because I had to get back.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've had friends that done road races that like called an Uber.
Yeah.
Anybody
carrying you deep out of the woods in Possum Kingdom, like forget it.
Yeah.
So
That happened to me also. I was in where was that? Canyon, Texas, and I was doing Palo Duro Canyon, and I was so tapped and beat. You know,
what distance?
What month? Yeah. Let's get it.
Well, the month was around November or something.
Yeah. It wasn't. It was the maybe the 50K because I want to go back for the 50 mile.
November.
And so it was a 50K, and so
no snakes.
Yeah, and
So no snakes to deal with. But
so I was
cold can get on you.
tapped, and it was cold in the morning, but it got warm.
Yeah.
You know, and I ended up taking off my shirt and wearing it on my head and all kinds of. Basically, I was like so tapped, and I just wanted to just lay there and go down and call it quits. Of course, you can't call it quits. And the guy comes running up next to me, and he goes, "Hey, man, you're gonna finish." And I go, "How do you know?" And he goes, "Because that's the only way out."
Otherwise, you're stuck.
Yeah, the trail bike.
Nobody's
It's
coming
still
for you,
beast
man.
mode, but friendly.
Yeah.
It is.
So yeah. And I love the trail community. It is a different community, like you're saying. Even though running is running, but it is, and I like the street community too. But I'll go camping out there with the trail community, and stay a weekend, which is it's a little different, and you get to know people on the trails a lot more because you're putting in that distance. There's a lot more time. You're sitting there with them, and it's not all huffing and puffing when you're running street trying to PR or trying to keep up with whoever. It's always huffing and puffing, and there's not a lot of communication there. I notice because I'm a heavy breather, so that happens to me. So.
I've done Palo Duro as well.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Might have been my first 50K.
Yeah.
And the temperature swing was at least 60 degrees
Easy.
from start to finish. It got really hot.
Right.
Also, I've heard terms doing trail. I've never heard doing road. Like I was doing this one trail race. I passed a friend of mine. He was with two ladies, and I just zoomed past him. Then he said to the ladies, "He's going to come back to us." I'm looking back, I didn't even know what that meant, and blah blah blah. And sure enough, 9 miles. Here they go, steady. Because I was like, duh, duh, duh,
Yeah.
and then I hit a wall. They were just steady. They just passed me. Like, didn't I tell you? And I'm like,
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Imagine the times you can look at somebody on a 10-minute pace and go, that dude's flying.
Yeah.
Because after 50 miles,
So-
10 minutes is, yeah.
So you retired, you said? Yeah.
I had complete knee replacement.
There's no such
That's
thing
why-
as retirement.
Oh, no.
You are
I'm
completely
clear.
retired.
I'm clear to run.
Yeah.
I could run now,
Right.
but that would shorten the lifespan of this artificial knee by like 50%.
Let's not do that.
And not only that, it's just one knee.
Right.
I start running. How about the other knee? How about the hips? I don't even want to risk it.
So for the love of the sport, is that when you got into photos?
Oh no, I was doing photos.
Oh, okay.
He's
shit.
been taking
So when you,
photos.
sounds like when you met him, he was photos. So Melissa, when you met him, he was photos.
No, I met him before he was taking all the photos. But
We get the villain origin moment. That's great.
I don't even remember what year you started taking, because I met you
Well, even
right
in-
when the
even in-
iPhone came out, probably.
Oh
So
no, I used to run with a small camera. It wasn't a camera phone. It was a portable camera.
Where
And I would download onto the computer. Yeah.
but
No, I don't.
I feel like the photos didn't come till like a few years later after I met you. I didn't meet you because you took pictures.
No,
I met
I
you.
used to run with the camera before I ran with the camera phone.
That is true.
A digital camera.
Really?
That is
Yeah.
true.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, back in Facebook when you would create a whole album,
Yeah.
Mark would you'd get a notification that said like you were tagged in 19 photos, and you're like, oh gosh.
The evolution of running photos, because at first my friends used to be pissed. It wasn't a positive thing.
Right.
Mark, you got me looking ugly. You got me looking suffering. I said, because you were looking ugly.
But I got you, though.
There you
right?
are,
Like,
man.
That's what you love about Marco, though. He's real. He's just
Yeah,
like,
I
that's
like
just
that.
how it is.
I said, this is not a glamour shot. You're exerting maximum effort at that. Time.
That's the beauty of running photos. I think
enjoy that.
is the pain and the suffering and the snot running down your nose.
Exactly.
Maybe some tears if you're hurting.
And you
I
probably
enjoy
make,
that, man.
you make other people feel better about their running photos, too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yep. I agree.
It's gotten better, because another thing they used to slam me for is slow motion photography. Slow mo, because I would a lady did that for me at one of my races, and I was like, oh my god. At first, of course, I was just vain like most people. I'm like, look at all those jiggly bits, but. I started looking at the gate, so I would do slow motion, and they would just complain about we don't like slow motion. I'm like, why not? Because we can see everything shaking. I said, why don't you look at your gait? Why don't you see at how your foot hits the ground? Let's see how you push off.
Yeah.
I said, you're focusing on the wrong thing.
Right,
You know,
right.
and now I see people are doing slow motion all over the place.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but they add music to it. I didn't have that option back then.
Yeah.
But he
That's amazing.
started the trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets real dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I started digging for you or trying to meet you, was because of I would see you'd take a lot of photos of different people, and and they would repost, I guess, and I would be like, oh man, Mark took that. Let me see who this Marco guy is, you know, and then yeah, so it was cool, definitely cool, man, and I was excited about.
Some of my friends have to explain me, because I'll take a picture and they say, "Oh no, that's Mark. He's cool. He's not gonna do anything with it. It's just."
You're like, it's just Marco. It's what he does.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Why are you taking my
Nowadays,
picture? What
like,
are you
yeah.
gonna do?"
Yeah.
This day and age,
Yeah,
right?
you're like, don't worry about it.
You
He's
should wear like an FBI vest one day. Just come out the woods like, no, thanks, keep running.
But see, during trail races, I am in the woods.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
startles people sometimes. You know, like.
Yeah, if you want the natural shot, like you're not setting up like
He
people
jumps out
normally
from
do.
behind
If
the
you-
tree.
Word up, so you're just in the woods, like taking man.
Pictures.
That's why I run with mace.
Do you get
man.
do you get paid for?
No,
no,
it's all
nothing
voluntary.
really.
But
That's awesome.
I
It's
go
from
to
his heart.
Yeah, I go to the races I
From
want to
his
go
heart?
to.
Oh, yeah,
And I
perfect.
stay as long
Beautiful,
as I
yeah.
want. I take the pictures I want.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know Phil?
what's the last name?
Salmaron,
Is that him?
Salmeron.
No.
Photographer Phil? You don't
Yeah.
know him?
Uh-uh.
Oh yeah.
Here's why they don't ask me to take trail pictures. That's my camera right there.
Oh, that's the
1950
1980s,
Kodak Brownie
1950
Hawkeye. Like, hey, can you come take some pictures? I'm like, nah, B, I'm not sure you understand. I could.
In fact, I only purchase phones for camera quality, and I
Yeah.
found the Google Pixel is the top one right now. So I've been a Google guy for a couple of years.
Oh,
It takes
nice.
excellent race pictures.
It's why I have a BlackBerry in my car.
Yeah.
2017, 4K video.
Okay.
Before iPhone and all that. They're like, why you got that old BlackBerry? I'm like, show me your 4K. You can't because you need to buy the $5,000 Samsung to get it on yours. But anyway. Yeah.
So, Natalie,
Yes.
on soccer, did you ever play club soccer?
I did, yes.
Oh, locally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what team?
I played, there was this team called Metro I played for a while, and then a team called Sting.
First,
Sting.
yeah. The female Sting club was big. Really
They were
big.
based where? Was it up in
Dallas.
Capel or
No.
what park was your
Dallas.
central?
Well, Metro
So
was
you guys
more
don't have
in
a central
Coppell.
park when you do club like
Well, you
You're
play
from
in
Dallas,
different
yeah,
parks
but it would be like
all
Dallas,
around the
Dallas
Metro
Sting or
park.
Dallas Texans, or and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
then you'll,
Okay.
they're like club is more like it would be like a travel team kind of.
Yeah.
Pardon, that was the Oak Cliff in me because I grew up. We played in the Oak Cliff Jets. We played in Keith
no.
Park
We played
before they call it
we
club.
played all around. Like there's a park, I think it's in Plano or Carrollton, called Orem something or other. And then Bob something or other park
Bob
in
Woodruff.
Plano. Yeah.
Bob
yeah.
Woodruff.
Yeah. So different parks in the Metroplex. And we
for sure.
and like Arlington out there. So
Yeah.
travel
Practice
sometimes. But
mainly where? Where'd you guys practice? Oh, different parks too, huh?
he's asking me things from when I was in like middle school and high school.
She's talking. You're talking 2 decades.
The formative decades, backgummit. Like, yeah.
Probably, I don't know, somewhere in the
I
Dallas
couldn't
area,
even
maybe like
answer
Richardson. I don't know.
That's good, man. Soccer's a different world.
Yeah, it's good though. And
It's just like when Brandon's asking me about New York versus you.
yeah,
You're contemporary New York. I left New York in '75, bruh.
I wasn't even born.
Yeah.
And this is also like my parents were driving me to practice.
Exactly.
Google Maps didn't exist.
That's
Do you think
right.
I was really paying attention where we were going?
Absolutely.
No,
Your parents were.
you are wrong.
That's good stuff, man.
So you said that you hated running before.
Because
it was like a punishment,
Well, yeah,
right?
it was used as a punishment in sports.
Go-
Gosh, man. Yeah, that's right. It always has been that.
And then my dad once. So do you know Michael's, the store?
Oh yeah, MJ Designs.
MJ Design, back when it was MJ Designs.
Right.
So the guy who, Michael Doobie is his name, he lived in Coppell and he had this house. And every Christmas he would set up this extravagant display outside and cars would line up on the street to go see it. And my dad is not the most patient person and he didn't want to drive and like wait in the line. So he would make us run to that house.
I told
I
you
was
there
in
was a
like
villain
elementary
backstory
school.
here.
Like, I don't want to run anywhere.
What a good bit of Dallas history too. Michael's back when his MJ Designs
Yeah.
in your neighborhood, and his last name was Doobie.
Yeah.
Doobie.
Doobie. I think it's,
As in,
yeah.
she had a place.
Like Scooby.
Yeah.
Scooby Dooby. Dooby
A
Doo.
doobie also has another context.
Oh
Yeah, only the 70s kids, like, yeah. Like,
Yeah, but I don't think it was spelled. I don't remember how it was.
it don't matter how you spell it.
It's the way you pronounce
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Wow, so you had to run. How far was that run? Running
It was
up to
probably
see
less
that?
than a mile.
But it felt
was
like a
not
good
far.
forever. You got to get out that car
I
and
was
run.
a child.
Yeah.
And the air was cold because it was
Oh,
December.
trust.
My lungs, and I was a dramatic elementary school kid.
Oh, we were witnessing it with you. Like when we grew up, they called a mile long distance.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Remember? They said, "What are you? I'm a distance runner." If you said, "No, that's a full on 4 60-second, 400 meters you're running." It's like, yeah.
Like the cross country runners. I'm always, when I talk to them, I'm always like, "Do you guys do like, 20 miles, 30 miles?" They're like, we don't got that time in the day, We're in a class, basically. We only do like 3 miles or something. Is like
They go so
cross country
fast
or
when
5
you're like,
miles. It's
yeah.
like, oh wow. So yeah, it's
Because we're still trying to do speed too. Like I'm in the 21, trying to get better at that on the street. But
yeah.
You doing track work or what are you doing? Fartleks?
road work,
I need to do track
trying to do, but track work I need to get in there. Fartleks I believe in. I know intervals I believe in. Like I ain't
I need
scared of the
Marco
oval,
to
but you
coach
got to
me.
get on it.
That's what you should get into, coaching.
There are plenty of coaches out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Fonz, you
Yeah.
got Dawn.
Fonz has a lot of A lot of runners.
So we've only made caterpillar steps. So okay, I ran up to the Christmas lights. When did the running like so far? We've gone from punishment to slight introduction to like.
When I was in college, I was a junior in college, and one of my friends asked me if I wanted to run the Dallas. It was White Rock Marathon back then.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I said, sure, why not? So I start going to White Rock every Saturday and doing a loop or a couple loops or whatever. I built up the mileage. Well, she didn't even do it. She like stopped training.
Bailed on you.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm invested now. So I ran the White Rock Marathon that year, and I qualified for Boston, and I was like, this is stupid. I'm not doing another one of these. And I was a college kid. I had no idea what Boston was. Yeah. And I was like,
had you done a half before your first fall?
No.
Wow.
And they start throwing all that. They start throwing all that language at you. Is that your BQ? I'm like, wow, a Burger Queen.
Maybe
like,
run a 5K. I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I had run a 5K.
And knowing you, there's no way you fueled.
No.
You just ran.
That's another thing about her. Like most of the
carried-
races, even when we're doing like runs during the weekend, whether it's the summer or winter, she doesn't. She blows through the water stops. She doesn't
I don't
carry
like
water.
to stop.
Yeah, but she doesn't stop even if it's like 90% humidity. She just blows through it. You know.
That's a body gift.
Yeah, she's like a camel, I guess.
That's a different gift. Yeah.
I carried a chewy granola bar in my back pocket.
Oh yeah, that's water.
But then I didn't.
That's Gatorade.
I didn't eat it.
So she did it. So you did a marathon with no fueling at all?
I'm pretty sure I probably took water.
No, I mean,
No, but I didn't.
okay.
No, I didn't.
Almost no.
I don't think that's fueling though.
I didn't. I didn't.
No bar, no,
No.
Energy drink, what is those things?
I can see that.
Gels.
I can see
No
just
gels.
drinking.
No
I can't eat on a marathon, but
No.
except though if you got an orange quarter you carry on you, that gets you past mile 18.
Well, how about a
Brand
trail
new.
run?
Oh,
Because trail
Trail
runs,
run, you
they
can't
have
not eat.
buffets.
Don't they eat
Yeah.
like quesadillas?
Yes and
Yes,
no. Yes and no. Because Nicole did not eat. When Paulo Duro, she finished her 50 mile before I finished my 50K. Or at least the same time. Yes, she looped me several times.
Yeah.
Always had a smile on her face. Hey, Marco, you're doing
She
great.
was so nice.
She doesn't fuel for a 50 miler. I saw that. She
I've
just
seen,
blow-
but some
Nothing,
people go
she
all
didn't eat
Luby's
anything?
Cafe on you. I don't stop that long because, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
some people do stop and go on buffet like napkin up. Yeah, have you any more bacon? Like, what are you talking about?
I remember the first time Shaheen, her first trail run or something, she was telling me about a quesadilla she ate, and I was like,
Yeah,
in a race?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
They have those?
There's a time when you would need that.
Yes.
for sure. I
Mile
that-
50.
I fuel off of real food. Yeah. So like the gels and all that stuff. Oh man, that sends me to the bathroom. So.
The only thing I've eaten during the trail races, all the trail races, is when they have the oranges, just quarters of oranges.
Oh yeah.
So
Stop.
not the baked potatoes?
I do none of
yeah.
sometimes
Salt
for the
potatoes.
salted
Yeah, salt potatoes.
those little
yeah.
purple.
Salted potatoes. Because you lose salt.
But you only need that a
Salted
couple of times. Like, but yeah, mainly
I'll eat warm food.
those
for
two.
Sure.
They have a little, if they have them, little
Oh, yeah.
red.
But that
cube.
brings me to another trail term. Because I was at a trail race and the person said, stop making love to the aid stations.
Yeah.
Because some people camp out
Oh, they
there.
just stop
Yes.
Like,
15,
what you-
20.
They don't.
I'm here
They
for
don't
it.
move
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
They don't move on. They're just eating. And just,
You get too comfortable. You
Running
get-
from restaurant to
That's why I don't
restaurant.
like to stop and running.
End
Like,
up
you
bloated
just-
on the side of the trail. Like,
muscles lock up.
Yeah.
Nah, you got to run that fuel
It's
off.
harder to start back up after you've stopped.
Also, it's funny because going back to Nicole, when she set that 100-mile record, she had pacers join her maybe mile 60, mile whatever. She dropped her.
Pacers. Oh what?
Her pacers can't even keep
From
up
just
with
running.
her.
Yeah.
She's so
She
incredible.
was already like 60 miles in.
yeah.
Yeah. What did she
believe in
break
that.
a record on? What race was it? Or,
It was at Rocky Raccoon. She set
Oh,
the female
nice.
100-mile record in North America.
Oh,
I think it's since been lowered, but at that time she
Yeah.
oh wow,
At Rocky,
nice.
huh?
Yeah, I just did that in February 1st.
Yeah. Just recent.
And there was no breaking any records for sure on my behalf.
Hey, man.
I did the PR though, which is good.
That's another.
Congrats.
26 hours. I'm shooting for that 20 sub 24. You know,
That's a different belt buckle, right?
Yeah, that's why. I got him in here.
But you earned a buckle nonetheless. Because
Dangle
you,
that carrot. Yeah, there you go. Belt buckle.
and you know, there's misconceptions on both sides of that. Like people who don't run trail, they say, "Yeah, but you guys walk." But what they don't know is a goal for a lot of trail runners is to be able to, if you can run the full 50. There's a guy out there who just did 7 hours, whatever, at what's this last one we just did? Grasslands. He's running the whole time, but that's a goal in and of itself for elite to national level type, running. And so people make fun of the walkers. I'm like, come out with me. I want to see you run 50 miles. That's my goal, is to run 50. But people are running 100.
Oh yeah.
Like running the whole thing.
They got Nick. He
Peterson.
He broke the record at Grasslands.
And you have to run to do that. I'm sorry.
One thing that does kind of make me laugh, though, difference with like roads and trails. Roads, if you're running a half marathon or whatever, and if it's 13.2, the finishers are gonna freak out. Like the course was long, blah blah blah. Yeah. And I remember talking to someone when I signed up for that trail race that got rained out. Yeah. I was talking to one of my friends about it, and I said, "Okay, so I'm doing the 8-mile course, but I looked at it and it says it's 8.3, so I'm a little confused." And she's like, "Oh yeah, like it's just kind of a guess."
Could you imagine taking that person, bringing them up to Lake Murray a couple of years ago? There's a 100-mile finisher, 24 hours, running in cake batter from the beginning of the race. It was raining, and I finished it. But a lot of people didn't even finish. But this guy was actually moving through that, and so I'd love to just take a shock of a road runner.
Has been like that several times. Anytime.
Yeah.
But going back to that distance, I remember when Shaheen did, it was either Western States or Leadville one year, and she said, 103, 105.
Yeah, but it's like, no,
yeah,
she
whatever.
didn't care. It's like,
and I said, that's extra. Oh, that's just bonus miles.
Yeah, you paid for it. Yeah, you're getting more than you paid for.
Bonus miles.
Wow.
Bonus miles. Yeah.
But you're right. Road runner would be like 0.7. But it seems you're 0.5 over.
Even trail race differs from country to country, continent to continent, because there's this French guy, world renowned, and he came here. And he was skipping the switchbacks. He was just going straight down, and they warned him. And I think that might be legal in Europe, but in the U.S. you can't do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he just saw another piece of the trail and just said, "I'm just going to go run to that." No, that's got to occur to you.
Was it not marked well?
That's like
he knows short distance.
Dude, that's crazy.
Plus, he's a professional runner. They run for money. When you finish in the top whatever X number of races, I think you get $100,000 bonus at the end.
TV type, so yeah.
So, do you have any races coming up?
Not currently, no.
No,
I'm not signed up for anything.
You're not training for anything.
Not specifically.
Just life.
But just
life.
No, I mean,
every day. Every day you train.
I want to pick a race and race something, but I haven't yet.
What kind of base do you keep? Like right now, you could just pick up, but I'm with you. You can just go run it. I mean, 14, 15. What kind of base do you keep? Like ready to run a marathon or ready to run something farther or just running?
I usually run between like 47 miles. So
No, not your distance for the week. Like what race distance are you training for?
Oh.
But that was good too. I thought you were going to say 40 miles pop. I'm like, good God, what kind of base do you maintain? Like,
I get
3
40
40s a week.
50 miles a week. I don't know.
I've seen you at 10Ks the last few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like 10Ks. I did
What was the last race you ran?
The no, actually, I did a sprint triathlon, but I only trained for it for 9 days. So
Nice.
It was unexpected. But before that, I did a 10K. So
what was that sprint triathlon?
It was called I think it was just called the St. Patty's Day Tri in Keller.
Oh yeah.
It was like a 300-meter swim,
10-mile bike.
It was 14 and a half bike, and then a 5K run.
Oh yeah. Did you enjoy it?
I did. It was very difficult. So what made it really challenging was it was 40 degrees outside and it was like misty. So when I got to the bike, I was just so cold and miserable. But overall, I had fun.
Yeah.
I did have fun.
That was your first? Or?
I did one in college when one of my friends, she swam for, I think, San Diego State or University of San Diego, one of those. And she said, hey, you want to do triathlon with me? And I was like, yeah, sure. And so I did one in college, but I, for some reason, did another one.
Do you enjoy the swim?
No, I do not.
Nobody
I
likes
hate
to
it.
swim.
Yeah.
Well, especially when I haven't been training for it.
I hate it, and I train for it, and I hate it. I still hate it.
Swimming's difficult just because, I mean, it's a
I got
a lot of
drag.
upper body strength.
Yeah, I got a lot of drag as a taller, bigger guy.
And
Not
the
swimming
breathing
properly.
part is hard.
Oh yeah.
But you guys on the bikes, it seems like just occurred to me, you have to embrace misery, even perhaps more than the running. I say that as a runner because you have to train over long distances and there's going to be weather. So all I picture, I have a friend who used to race in Europe and he's like, oh yeah, we're in Belgium. It's a Tuesday. It's 15 degrees, raining and snowing. And yeah, I'm like, dude, that sounds like misery. He said, yeah, you run into a lot of you have to on a bike. I mean, because you go so far.
During certain tries, you need to make sure you don't draft because they'll disqualify you or add points. I mean, add time.
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
I
For
think that's
drafting.
mainly if
Oh
you're
yeah, for draft.
So that's
if
Iron-
you're
Ironman.
good. Like people like
If you're an
me,
Ironman
they
circuit,
weren't
yeah.
paying attention.
You're right. You're right.
No, you
They were
get,
like,
you get,
just let her go.
Yeah.
Just let her
Yeah.
go.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Because I just did the half Ironman Monterrey, Mexico.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, yeah, and I still suck at swimming. So, I've done a full
And you just swim a
Ironman.
mile, right? Like
Oh, yeah,
1.2 miles?
Yeah, I did two, and then
a good swim,
in Tempe, Arizona, I did a 2.4 mile swim.
You
And
did
I
you did the full Ironman?
Yeah, and
Dang.
I still suck at swimming. So it's like it doesn't matter. I'm never gonna be good. I never like it. I just get out there and suffer, and that's what they say: survive the swim, and
Yeah.
the rest is golden. So
But do you reel people in on the bike and the run?
On the
yeah,
run,
yeah,
you do.
I'll catch up on the bike actually. The
Yeah.
run, I'm kind of. I don't run like I run normally, you know,
Well,
because you're coming off that bike. Yeah.
you don't even realize you have legs.
Right,
I thought my
right.
legs had stopped working.
Yeah. Also, for some reason, the first time I ever did half Ironman was in Galveston, and you're
Oh.
coming off of that ride.
That one's coming up.
yeah, it
next
should be
month.
coming up. Yeah, and you're coming off that ride, and I was like, "Oh, this is it, man! I'm a runner. I'm gonna catch everybody." I cramped up so bad, like I had to pull off from the run and just sit there for like 3 or 4 minutes before the cramps would go away. And
Does it take a couple of miles for your legs to realize that transition and then you fall into a rhythm?
Well, it was a 5K, so by the time I felt them, I was finished.
Yeah.
yeah, it's called bricking.
Like now we can
That's what
start.
it is.
Legs are like, we're done. now.
because your legs feel like bricks coming
Yeah.
off of it. So it's
Getting
called
back to
bricking.
where I've seen you race lately, I think I've seen you in Irving the last couple of years.
Just that one.
Just once?
I just did that one race there.
I got Irving in the mind because they have something coming up next week.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think it was that race I must have done.
So you going out there next
I'll be out
weekend?
there.
to take
Taking
pictures?
photos? Oh, cool.
Since
I
you-
think I'm gonna come out there too. Not to run. Maybe I'll be standing next to you, watching you take photos because I got a friend that's he's coming from Tyler and he's gonna try to.
can do a live show.
Qualify from.
Do a live pod from out there.
Well, he's gonna come on the podcast actually.
Oh.
After that race.
So I think in Irving, the full is the half course twice.
yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna try to get his Boston qualifier. He needs to do a 3:08 or something.
Ooh,
I wonder what.
But he's fast.
pretty-
He's a fast boy.
he's
so-
fast, but what's the weather going to be like next week?
Oh yeah. I
true.
don't know. Is it gonna be bad? Who
Texas-
knows?
it's Texas.
It drop,
You never know.
Yeah, that is true.
I wonder
Texas
taking
and
those
I
pictures.
know it's going to be 90 something on Tuesday this week. So
Yep, it should be 80 something today. But taking those photos and in the woods, out of the woods, whatever. I wonder, like the runners, especially since you're not in a position where people are jumping out and posing like normally. Is there anything that the runners don't know about themselves, like certain moods at certain miles, at certain dispositions that you just notice over thousands and thousands of pictures?
I've gotten the runners early in the race, so they're not as miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll get them at the finish.
Yeah.
But if you're doing certain distances, then that's your first loop. You probably got 2 more loops to go.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I haven't noticed anything about trail runners being anxious?
No, I'm not anxious. I mean, whatever. Like, yeah, at mile 10, they tend to have a certain odd joy on their faces. Or mile 50 or 40, because you never can tell the environment when you're in it and running. But when you look and see, like I remember, for example, I worked with a sprinter, Asafa Powell. We did the World Championships.
Asafa Powell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, World Championships in Osaka. And when
Casual
you
name
sit,
drop.
no,
You're saying that like you're saying Pastor T. Or
no, that's why I stopped, and you heard the
Natalie Merrill.
you heard the pause. I'm like, because he's
I just saw
the
David. One
beast of it.
Yeah.
He's the beast of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nobody runs sub 10 for 15 straight years. Anyway, and so when you speak to him, and even to Stephen Francis and the others, for every step, they can record a full 60-minute movie. Like, pow, at the blocks. Well, I know he tends to do this. I know when I was training. I know, like, last February when I did this. Like you have all those things. And so I wonder, for the trail running folks, I mean, I guess we just think about, eating, getting to the next aid station, getting that orange and getting through.
Because, like, at the races, I'm taking pictures of everybody. And when I see Josh or Jeff, he's married to Tracy, those are the people that are way ahead of everybody else.
Yeah. Josh forever.
They are moving.
And I see Josh's face, and he's like moving. Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice. Hey, so before the episode ends, I always ask a question.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with you.
Okay.
What's your favorite movie?
I love The Replacements
Replacements.
with Keanu Reeves.
Are you a big Keanu Reeves?
No, I love sports, and it's a really funny, good
Wait,
movie.
is that where he's the quarterback?
Yeah, it's where the Professional Football League goes on strike, and so they bring in the replacement players. And it has one of the best lines when Gene Hackman looks at him and he goes, Shane, what do you want to do? And he goes, or she's like, Shane, what do you want? I want the ball. And Gene Hackman's like, winners always do. It's one of the best moments.
God bless Gene Hackman, just passed.
I know.
Yeah, wow. He was the ultimate
He's
coach
fantastic.
person. And that Superman villain he played, oh my God, Lex Luthor's got no better.
What about you, Mark?
Usual Suspects.
Oh,
Yo, I love that one.
Are you a Kevin Spacey fan still?
Yeah, I got to look at him during his prime years before everything hit the fan. Because I'm also thinking about Seven. I enjoyed Seven a lot. American Beauty.
He's man, one of the best actors.
Consummate, yeah.
And that
He's
sucks.
a good bad guy.
That sucked that all that went down in the whole industry. Period. I think. I mean, it is nice for stuff to get revealed, but it sucks that when. I mean, you're ruining people's careers because of what they do on their other. I guess when they're not acting, so.
Yeah, that's when we have to be our most responsible, like in life. From the camera, you can do
Yes,
whatever.
I guess so.
Yeah. But yeah, totally.
So,
And how about you guys? Your favorite movie?
oh, mine's The Lost Boys.
Oh, that's
Lost.
Yeah.
One for
He's
the
got his
money,
tattoo.
two for the
What was yours?
music gets me high. Lost Boys. I'm sorry. No, Cool Hand Luke.
Oh, Cool Hand Luke.
Is that Robert Redford and Paul Newman?
That's Paul.
Paul? Okay.
Brother Paul. Yeah.
Oh,
And
nice.
Paul and who? He wasn't-
actually, I really
There's
like
another big
anything
name
Peter
with
O'Toole, and is a guy I really like. And Yul Brynner, you see my types now.
You said Peter O'Toole?
Just as an actor, yeah.
Was
O'Toole. He
was
played
the
Beckett.
The funny looking guy?
Beckett.
Peter O'Toole?
Yeah, I guess the longer face. I
Okay.
mean, they'll look like Don Quixote to me, but I think he may have played Don Quixote.
Very nice, very nice. Well, thank you all for coming.
Yeah,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you for having us.
Good hanging, good hanging.
I
yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you. And this is the end of the episode.